Next man up. Bryant Mitchell's been as good as any. 2 consecutive 100-yard games, and with more on the Eskimo receiver, here's Sarah Oleski.
Well, Chris, it certainly has been next man up when it comes to the Eskimos. This has been a tough back over the last couple of years. Patience has been key for Mitchell, something he's been praised at both by teammates and as well his coaches. One of the things that surprised the coaching staff of the Eskimos, how physical he is once he gets the ball. He's relied on his receivers around him to especially Bowman. He says some of the best advice he's received from Bowman has been be confident but not cocky. Also, he said Bowman tells him know your depth, which when running routes is something that inevitably his coaching staff would like him to know as well.
Yeah, they all work together, and knowing the depth of the route and getting to that exact spot before you make your break is crucial in the combinations that they're trying to accomplish with Vidal Hazelton out there usually playing beside him.
Hazel and 2. Short drop, quick hitter, and it'll be complete in the first down. And that's the former Bomber Corey Watson who draws the crowd.
Bryant Mitchell working on a drill, concentration drill. He doesn't look at the ball until the last second in behind the goalpost, then flashes, tries to find it, locate the pass, and make the catch. That's what happens when you're on the practice roster being patient like Sarah. If you continue to stay mentally focused and ready, you get the call, you can contribute. Back-to-back 100-yard games for Bryant Mitchell.
He's waiting for the bat signal. And there's a pass again underneath to Watson. And he gets stacked up again. He's passed for 1,166 yards in his last 3 games against Winnipeg. 2/3 of that total to either Darius Bowman, Darrell Walker, neither available. Of course, Walker gone to the NFL and Bowman on the 6 games. So Mitchell, and apparently Jason Moss wants more out of Corey Watson here tonight.
And Duke Williams back in the lineup.
And on Perkins left side, he got a hole, and shirt tail tackle as Perkins lunges for Eskimo first down.
Yeah, part of it, Brock Sunderland and the staff making sure they have the talent on the practice roster to be able to sub in. This is really the 4th string tailback in Ladarius Perkins, always also being real patient, I should say. And that's part of it, but it's also leadership, and Mike Riley has been that leader.
Fake to Perkins. Perkins out of the backfield. Riley looked there, but takes off, and he'll get hit as he crosses midfield down to the 52-yard line on the final play of this first quarter. Highest scoring team in the league in the first quarter were the Eskimos, but no points in the opening quarter here. Military Appreciation Night, Thursday Night Football, and a terrific matchup here in Winnipeg. 2 long drives together in the opening 15 minutes, but just a 3-point lead to show for it.
Yeah, they ended up with a field goal on the first one, and then a penalty took them out of field goal. You know, it's kind of been their formula in the 3-game win streak. They take the ball on defense more than any team in the league, and on offense, protect the ball well and let Justin Medlock do his thing. I'm not sure you can get away with that, though, against a 7-0 football team.
It's also not a team that has relied on the big play this year, and they were just chipping away on their opening 2 drives. And now it's Eskimo football on the Bomber side of half. Looking at 2nd and 7 as we start the second quarter. Three receivers wide side. Riley looks that way, got Hazelton a catch. Brian Walker the tackle. Hazelton's got 3 catches already and is now the leading receiver on the Edmonton Eskimos, passing the injured Brandon Zylstra.
You mentioned Darrell Walker, and basically Vidal Hazelton is replacing Walker, and he's really coming into his own. Having said that, it was Darrell Walker who took the Rookie of the Year award away from him. He was the East representative out of Toronto that year, and now replaces him in Edmonton.
14 for Hazelton, on the ground to Perkins. And he falls across the 35-yard line.
So you mentioned, 14 different receivers for Mike Riley due to all these injuries that they've had to endure, and then Vidal Hazelton coming into his own as an Edmonton Eskimo with the contributions from Brian Mitchell. Boy, they're not skipping a beat. That's why they continue to win. The guys coming up and stepping up when they get their opportunity. It's been a nice combination.
Second and 6. Riley going through the reads, and the pass rejected. Knocked down, incomplete. And the field goal team will have to come on.
It's Corey Johnson that got his hand on that, Chris. I take a look at Riley. He wanted to get Getzlaff on a little curl right at the marker. And a good push by 6'7".
Yep.
And the big left arm. Hit him right in the elbow almost.
That's Poop Johnson to his friends.
Yeah. I don't know. I can get my head wrapped around calling him that, but
from 40 yards out, Hugh O'Neill has missed. In the end zone is Langford coming out. Yes, he is. And there's a flag down as Langford with speed down the sideline and still going. Ryan, there's a flag way back at the Winnipeg 3. Likely the big return is coming back. But the Eskimos fail to capitalize on that opportunity. Still 3-0 Bombers.
Take a look at that penalty. I believe it's on Kyle Knox here, number 50 for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who's trying to get his teammate Ryan Langford the edge and out around the corner here, and he's just a little bit long on that one. I mean, that's a borderline block from the side.
On the previous play, we had an illegal block. Winnipeg number 50. Foul occurred in the field of play. Penalty will be applied from the 10-yard line. First down, Winnipeg.
Well, that's a big game for the Bombers off the board, and take another look at it here, just at the top of your screen. Now Knox does have his hand in the back of the jersey, kind of grabbing the jersey at the back, and that may be enough to have got it, but that's a marginal one. That's a close one, and he's still not sure what he did wrong.
And it becomes a 50-yard penalty. Back at the 5-yard line, a pass complete to Adams, dives forward to around the 11, maybe the 12 for 6-7.
Boy, as important as offensively as red zone is and red zone production for teams, this is as important, coming out your own end and being able to get some breathing room, at least to be able to punt and keep field position.
Get a couple of first downs, it's job accomplished. Nichols 9 of 10 out of the gate, and he draws Mike Moore offside. And that'll help.
Good heads-up play by Ghost in the center to snap that when he saw the movement from Mike Moore. Not allowing Moore to get back. Or did someone from the Bombers move first?
Officials conferring. Gossen's upset. Let's see.
I didn't see a Bomber move.
Offside. Edmonton, number 96. A 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
I'm not sure why that took as long as it did, because it was pretty clean cut. I mean, that was just Mike Moore stepped offside.
So it gives the Bombers some breathing room. And the first down. Over the middle, he's got TJ Thorpe. And Thorpe's out around the 40-yard line. He's in his 5th game of the Bombers. He's had at least 5 catches in each of the first 4.
Boy, this is just great timing on the route and the throw, because this is a deep route that's going to have a time element to it to get into that middle. And it's thrown before the cut by TJ Thorpe. He hadn't broke off that route for the 23-yard gain. The ball was already in the air. Great timing and execution.
Here come the Eskimos, quickly out of the hands, and Incomplete, intended for Denmark. Good break up there by Brandon Thompson, playing in his 50th game in the Canadian Football League.
But Matt Nichols has got that breathing room. He's got out of the shadow of his own goalpost. He's got a chance that Edmonton can't get the start, get the ball, give up a safety, those kind of things. That's how a game can change in momentum for the visiting team. Got breathing room now.
Matt Coates wide to this near side on 2nd and 10. Harris releases. Harris the target. Harris the first down to the Edmonton 50.
Sometimes you got to knife it in there. Sometimes you got to time it, like we saw on the throw to TJ Thorpe. Sometimes it's just a little up over the top with nice touch to his tailback in Andrew Harris.
Now Nichols again over the middle. And he's got Clarence Denmark, another first down, and it looks like they're attacking the same spot of the field.
Yeah, they're getting that linebacking core to draw up. That's they established the run in the first quarter to Tim Flanders and Andrew Harris. Got that linebacking core closer.
Too many men. Edmonton. That penalty's declined. First down.
See, they're getting up closer to the line of scrimmage, so he's throwing it in behind him. But the first throw to Andrew Harris, he just lofted it over him and had nice touch. That one, he knifes in to Clarence Denmark. Basically same area, different style of throw.
So 19-yard connection to Denmark and a first down to the 34. Harris again. Bulldog straight ahead. And he's going to push the ball for a first down. And that
There you go.
is going to rile up the locals, although the Eskimos say they came up with the ball.
Edmonton saying they stripped it in there.
They come up with a football.
Ladler has it. And I think one of the officials signaled Edmonton ball. Now, did they stop the play at forward progress at some point? There doesn't have to necessarily be a whistle here for that a ref to think that forward progress is stopped. But Edmonton rips away at it as the play continues to go.
Looked like he was down as the ball came out, but need another angle.
Yeah, and I think what's important. So they said that's the most important part. What was the ruling on the field here? Because they're ruling that it's a fumble and strip.
Oh, and the ball is coming out before his wallet hits the turf. Matt Nichols said, what about his forward progress being stopped? And Andre Proulx said he was getting extra yards with that forward progress.
Well, no whistle, no stop forward progress. He was gaining yards, and upon further review, the backside did not touch the ground. Ball's out there. Take a look. Ball to the left, top corner, and he still has not been touched down by contact. So that is a fumble, turnover, Edmonton.
Well, the extra effort got him 5 extra yards, but cost him the football. And Edmonton takes over at around their 20. Riley to work. Downfield. Hazelton the drop. Took a look with Taylor Loeffler in the vicinity. And Hazelton hasn't dropped many this year.
Yeah, he does that, though. Taylor Loeffler, one of the safeties in the league. Some guys have different skill sets. Some guys are all about, playing the ball. And Loeffler's about physicality. And just his presence, I think, that'll get a receiver to peek every now and then.
His momentum out of bounds. Thought maybe a foot was down. That's ruled incomplete.
No, I think they got the call right. The ref was right on the spot, and looks like the call's right. Now, Duke Williams here is going to have to lead, dive, and the first to touch is his back on the white stripe. The feet don't get down.
Boy, we've seen him make a couple of those circus catches. Made another, but momentum carrying on out of bounds. You will need kick. Kevin Fogg awaits at the Bomber 40. Rush on, and they almost got there. Fogg on one hop. 53-yard punt. Malumba Schmanga trying to bring him down. Alex Hoffman-Ellis does. Well, Friday Night Football continues tomorrow. Red Blacks take on the Tiger Cats. Cats looking for win number 1. Action gets underway 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. And it's doubleheader action. Stampeders battle the Lions at BC Place at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific.
Players only meeting for BC this week. You know what that means. They're coming off a bad loss. We'll see. We'll see what they got against Calgary Stampeders.
Matchups are all intriguing in week number 9 for various reasons. Right back in the hands of Harris. Spins off first contact, and he's going to power his way to another first down and hold on. And he's fired up.
Boy, is he ever. That's back-to-back plays. I mean, take the fumble away. Back-to-back plays where he has got first contact, and just power and strength got him another 8-10 yards after that first contact. And they're ripping at it, but this time he's got both arms over the football security.
48 yards rushing here in the first half for Harris. Fake to Harris. Nichols on a roll. Gets it to Flanders. And he breaks tackles. Gets away. And down at the 30. 21 for Timothy Flanders.
Great play fake here by Matt Nichols to draw defensive end for the Edmonton Eskimos in on Andrew Harris. I believe, yeah, it was Rakeem Yates. Rakeem Yates gets caught on that play fake, hustles to make the tackle because he knew he made the mistake.
Yates, a newcomer to the Eskimo lineup because of all the injuries. Matt Coates escaped first contact. Alex Hoffman-Ellis the tackle, but it looks like Coates has enough for another Bomber first down.
You know, this is a good Edmonton Eskimo team. First against the pass, second in big plays allowed, third-ranked team in the league against the run. And this Winnipeg Blue Bomber team right now is breaking tackles. This is a good tackling Edmonton defense. Winnipeg is breaking tackles on every play.
Nichols has had a hot hand. Here comes pressure. He'll step up. Get it to Thorpe. Another first down. And down around the 4-yard line.
Getting that confidence. 5th start for TJ Thorpe. Mentioned he's replaced Weston Dressler and is contributing and chipping in. And you know you're confident when you look back into the middle to shake a guy trying to tackle you.
First and goal. Andrew Harris to the goal line and then drilled back. Again, Corey Jones with the tackle.
Josh Woodman's come down from the safety spot and had to help out in the run support. And he's one involved in the hit here, number 7, turn him back. Now, that's good for Woodman to help out and help out to stop the run. But if your safety's coming down like that quickly, boy, he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable for play action over the top.
Woodman and Marcel Young may have saved the touchdown. The heavy team in. They'll push forward. Flag comes down. Bombers into the end zone. Touchdown.
Edmonton was lined up way offside.
Edmonton, the defensive line was lined up offside. That penalty's declined. Result of a play is a touchdown.
Full house tonight. It's big crowd here tonight. I don't know if they got to the sellout mark, but they were selling 1,000 tickets or more a day for this one. And they're having fun in here tonight.
Who's fired up more? The guys in blue and gold or the fans in blue and gold? Dan Lefebvre into the end zone, and that ignited the Investors Group lead. Six plays, 66-yard touchdown drive. Convert by Medlock. A 10 4-point lead. And at least so far, the blue and gold dogs are barking.
Offside.
And leaping.
The defensive line was lined up offside. That penalty's declined.